Shalom. I'll start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahawashi Ba'Shem Rachak. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, and as always, peace and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to all you Akim that's enduring afflictions, persecutions, ridicule, you know, basically suffering for Hamashiach's sake, man, bearing your cross. And that's something that, that was appointed to us. This comes with the territory. Those that will live godly in Yahawashi must suffer persecution. All right, you're going to be in danger of false brethren, all that sort, man. But you got to continue to endure. And the Lord gave us a spirit to endure these things. There's certain dudes that don't have the spirit, that are very sensual. They don't have the fortitude or the stoicism to show restraint when dealing in these type of scenarios. Like being persecuted, being harassed, and if this doesn't confirm that the spirit of the Zealots is totally contrary to the spirit that Yahawashi walked in, I mean, this is playing right before your face in real time. This is why the Zealots, this is the Sakari, this is why they didn't roll with Yahawashi. They did their own thing. They had two different approaches. You have the spirit of Yahawashi, which deals with walking in the spirit of meekness, not being violent, not being reactionary, not being so quick to move with carnality. Real quick, let me get let's get Proverbs 16:32 real quick. Because this is one of the things that Yahawashi actually taught us, which was really wise. Proverbs 16:32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. All right. And Yahawashi, he actually, taught this, that you're more stronger when you have control over your spirit than a dude, who's so quick to turn up. Because anything can push this man and allow for, carnality to creep in. And these men have the nerve, the audacity to ridicule these brothers because they decided to take the humble approach. They completely ruled their own spirit and didn't allow this drunk demon to take them out of the spirit. So these guys want to, poke fun at these men. Well, hey, this is showing you right here in real time that they definitely wouldn't have walked with Yahawashi. They wouldn't have been in Yahawashi's camp. They would have looked at Yahawashi and his men as marks and not spiritual men. You gonna let this drunk dude, you know, stop the camp? He wouldn't have stopped the camp if we had the pistol, if we had the strap on us. If they would have had that strap on him, he wouldn't have came at the. Yeah, that you talking just like a straight up carnal zealot. They believed in the flesh. They believed in carnality. But that's not the way Yahawashi taught his men. And I firmly believe uh they don't believe this approach when Yahawashi said this. Let's go real quick to Matthew 26. Actually, no, Salakia, not Matthew 26. Let's go to Matthew 5. Yeah, I don't think they believe this. This is why they definitely wouldn't have wrote with Yahawashi. Scroll down. And what is our goal? Our goal is to try to strive to be perfect. Even Yahawashi said it, man. Be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. And in order to achieve that, we have to follow, after the examples of Yahawashi, man. Let this mind be in you as it once was in Yahawashi. So let's go down. Yeah, Matthew 5:38. And it says, you have heard that it have been said, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Because that is in their law. They be quick to say, because these chief priests and Pharisees and Sadducees, they'll be quick to retort to the law real quick, right? But I say unto you that you resist not evil. All right. When you dealing with a evil spirit, when you dealing with the principalities, don't resist it. This is where the fortitude comes in. You're gonna be in the spirit and know that you're warned against a spiritual warfare and not a carnal warfare. Like Apostle Paul said, we do not, even though we're in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, right? It says that you resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn him, turn to him the other also. And that's why a lot of militants, they don't identify with that. They can't get with that. This is why a lot of them they would not take the biblical approach. They think their way to salvation is to, attack it, you know, head on by carnal means. All right. They don't have what it takes to show restraint, and that takes strength. This is literally what Yahawashi did. Even when he was on the cross, they smacked him and then mocked him and said, "Hey, prophesy who did it? Who smote you?" Yahawashi took everything that he received from them wicked niggas. He took it on the chin, and he had power. These dudes would never show that level of self control. That would have been their justification, if they encountered a situation which in the carnality sense, in the carnal sense, it would make sense to be reactionary and pull out your gun or whatever. But you ain't even thinking about what Yahawashi said. So that's what I'm saying, man. And let me jump down real quick. Matthew 5:44, and it says, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. All right? Yeah, because we all go through it, man. That's the condition of the battle. He'll bring evil upon the good and the evil, and he'll bring blessings upon the good and the evil too. I believe that's somewhere in Ecclesiastes. Let me see real quick. And everything we go through is just a test. This is how the Lord proves who's who. And these guys, just based off of their, you know, commentary on how the brothers moved, shows what type of dudes they are. We've been saying this all along. Ecclesiastes. No, it's not here. Yep. Ecclesiastes 9. Ecclesiastes 9 and 2, it says, all things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean and to the unclean, to him that sacrificeth and to him that sacrificeth not. As is the good, so is the sinner, and as he that sweareth, as he that feareth an oath. All right. But it's all part of the test to manifest who's the just and who's the unjust, man. All right, so let's go from there and let's go to First Peter. First Peter 2. And I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, for what glory is it if when you be buffeted for your faults, you shall take it patiently? But if when you do well and suffer for it, you take it patiently. These guys don't have patience. That's why you got to wear a gun on your hip. Because really you fear suffering. Plus you worried about how it makes you look in the eyes of the general public. Because you want everybody to look at you as some, you know, super, turned up militant, courageous group. It ain't even about that, man. That's all in the flesh. We have to build our patience. And the word patience means to suffer. It says this is acceptable with the Most High. All right, like what those brothers did in the Northwest camp, that was acceptable. All right, and when we out there preaching, we don't look for confrontation. If there's any confrontation among us, that's because people came to try us, like they did the Lord and His disciples. All right, and we try to show as much restraint as possible, as the scriptures say, we're not to be brawlers. We're not to be seeking confrontation. We're to be gentle and meek. That's our approach, man. You being mature in the spirit, you're gonna do whatever you can to diffuse a situation, because it ain't edifying. It doesn't edify when it gets out of hand, and nothing but confusion ensues. All right, our whole goal is to get the word out, whether they hear it, whether they forbear, whether they agree or disagree. All right, we have to you know we have to answer. Our speech got to be seasoned with salt. How we ought to answer every man and give him a reason of the hope that we have with meekness and fear. It says, for even hereunto were you called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. Right? Who, when he was reviled, I mean, what he was, you know, uh, ridiculed. They accused him of blasphemy. They talked all kind of shit. They tried to, chop him up in his words. They had counsels behind his back on how they gonna plan on, trying to draw uh, uh, something out of him that they can use to incriminate him. This is what they were doing to him. It says, revile not again. Why? Because he didn't render to no man evil for evil. He didn't stoop to their level. He kept it spiritual. It says when he suffered, meaning they tried to attempt to put hands on him. And I recently did a lesson on that. When they every time they got cut to the heart, they tried to put hands on Yahawashi, and he suffered. He had to deal with them niggas trying to, put hands on him and get carnal. They tried to throw him off a cliff. Did he raise a hand? Did he pull out a sword? Did one of the disciples that was around, did they pull out a sword? It says he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. You see, if you're carnal, you will not agree with this. You will not agree with Yahweh's approach. This is the reason why the Sakari, the Zealots couldn't roll with Yahawashi. They would not have rolled with him. They didn't get down like this. All right. They were about the revolution. They were about carnality. It was about having the sword on them. You see? See, like when it says in Jeremiah, was that 48, woe to him that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and woe to him that keepeth his sword from shedding blood. They'll A carnal man will interpret that in a literal sense. Oh, so we're supposed to actually, according to this scripture, we're supposed to go out and actually use our swords. We're supposed to go out there and put people to death. But in the spirit, you know exactly what the Lord meant by that. Meaning you're not supposed to show any partiality, man. This word is the sword. That's what cuts. And that's why Yahawashi was razor sharp with the scriptures to the point that they wanted to get physical with him. Because he was mutilated. He was cutting the hell out of them wicked jakes. And that's what we do when we out there on the highways and hedges, man. People don't like what we got to say. So that draws out those unclean spirits that's in them. And we got to deal with that. Well, Yahawashi, he showed restraint, man. Okay. Let's go to Philippians, the second chapter. Now, mind you, this man had power. He didn't even need to have a sword. This man had power and still submitted himself. Philippians 2 and verse 5, it says, let this mind be in you, which was also in the Mashiach Yahawashi, who being in the form of the Most High, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant. Okay? And he was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. So he humbled himself, man. He didn't poke his chest out. He didn't, walk around, you know, like he wanted to smoke. He truly humbled himself to the persecution and the suffering, because he knew that was what was needed in order to fulfill his father's will, to be that sacrifice for the sins of Israel. Imagine if he had the Sakari approach. We would not have that sacrifice. We be done. If Yahawashi was anything like these guys, come on, man. We wouldn't even have a sacrifice, man. We would not be reconciled back to the Father. So you see why the Lord had to have that spirit upon him. Okay? And because, we follow in his footsteps, leaving, because he left us to be an example of how we should walk, we're going to go through the same things. John 15. And, when they went out there in the ministry, Yahawashi even told them, hey, when you go out there, don't go out with you don't need a purse, you don't need a script, you don't need a staff. Basically, you don't need no artillery or no equipment. All right, all you have is this word, is the gospel. All right, and your faith. Have faith, and then if you have the faith of a mustard seed, man, you could do all things. and they was able to go out there and perform miracles, man. What the hell did they need a sword for? You out there trying to heal and cleanse Israel, but you got a damn sword on you, man. This is a spiritual temple we're building, man. Now I can see back in the ancient world, when we was in the midst of rebuilding the second temple, and you had actual threats from these heathen nations trying to offset us from constructing the temple. And back then that was necessary. We had to, build while we also had the sword on our sides, man, because the Lord wanted the temple, built. But now it's all spiritual. But a lot of dudes are showing how carnal they are. Right? The natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit because they're foolishness unto him. So this is John 15. Yeah, John 15 and 18, it says, if the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours. All right. So you're gonna have to endure what Yahawashi went through. And boy, did they endure it, man. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 4. 1 Corinthians 4 and verse 9. It says, for I think that the Most High have set forth us the apostles last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. Everybody's watching us, including the spirits. The principalities watch us. That's why when we have camps, you have them spirits that be acting up and getting riled up. And these people, these vessels that these demons hop into, they don't even know what the hell is going on. They don't even understand that there's a left hand entity that's taking hold of their flesh, you know. But they'll come right by the camp, and they'll be normal, just before they come to the camp, and as soon as they walk past the camp, they just start bugging the hell out, man. That's because this thing draws, the spirits, man. Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. And I'm pretty sure these brothers knew that, and that's why they even took that approach. They tried to operate in the spirit as much as possible. How would Yahawashi have handled this situation? Would Yahawashi would have had a sword on him, or pulled out a sword against this drunk guy that clearly got spirits on him? Either two things Yahawashi would have done. He would have just, especially if it was more than one of them, he would have probably just, all right. He would have walked away to somebody that was more worthy of it. You're not supposed to cast your pearl before swine, man. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast you your pearl before swine. Why waste time with Jake? But see, that's another thing. They want to they feel like you got to go to all Jake, just like them other Israelite groups out there, man. Like we got to reach all of Israel. We got to bring all Israel together. That means you got to go to the niggas, the grimiest niggas, the Crips and the Bloods, and that's who encircles these dudes, man. They attract those type of Jakes. Jake that still think that they're in good graces with the Lord, even though they got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, trying to intertwine that black culture nigga spirit with being an Israelite. You an Hebrew Israelite, but you still a Crip or still a Blood. a gang member. You got your fringes on and still throwing up your set, and that's cool with these dudes. Well, hey, that's the spirit of the carnal zealots. Now, if we can radicalize these niggas together, then we be unstoppable force. Yeah, and you thought that when you started that war with the Romans and caused all of Israel to damn near all of the Jews to get slaughtered. Anyway, it says it says we are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but you are wise in Yahawashi. So it seemed like what these brothers did was foolish. Oh, these guys is fools. They gonna let this drunk that guy just come up and quench the spirit and make them shut down. Oh, that's foolish. Yeah, to the natural man. But we're wise in Yahawashi. Yahawashi told us, to be meek and be peaceful. If they will not receive your peace, then hey, leave. Basically flee. Go from their presence, man. That's what the Lord taught. If they will not receive you, then go somewhere else, man. It says, we are weak, but you are strong. Being spiritual, being in the spirit is actually stronger than being in the flesh. Because the flesh is weak. Yahushua even said that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. All right. It says you are honorable, but we are despised. Yeah, we despise, man. You see how they talk about us? Even unto this present hour, we both hunger and are thirst and are naked and are buffeted and have no certain dwelling place. People call us, bums. We're the bum camp of Israel. And labor, working with our own hands, being reviled, we blessed. Being ridiculed, being reproached, being persecuted, we suffer it. That's what we supposed to go through, man. But you're gonna prevent that because you got a pistol on your hip? You ain't no servant of Yahawashi. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and are offscouring of all things unto this day. I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. All right, and he was just giving that exhortation that hey, this is what comes with this, man. Was that Thessalonians? Yeah, I told you. We told you about these afflictions. Was it First Thessalonians 2, maybe 3? It might be the third. Let me go to the third chapter. Yeah, First Thessalonians 3, and I'll start at 1. It says, "Wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone, and sent Timotheus, our brother and minister of the Most High, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Hamashiach, to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith, that no man should be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and you know." All right, and he exhorted them. You go to Acts 14, is what you have to go through. Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples, right? I'll start at 21. It says, "And when they had preached the gospel to that city and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High." So we got to go through the tribulation, and that's that furnace of adversity, the furnace of affliction that we all got to be put through, man. And it's to try our character, okay? It's to search the heart and try the rein, man. You see? And through this is going to determine whether you one of the sheep of Yahawashi, or if you one of them, wicked scribes and Pharisees that didn't believe, or if you one of them zealots, man, one of them revolutionaries who didn't regard what Yahawashi was talking about. They just had extreme zeal in the law. You see, but we got to go through. We got to deal with them spirits, man. We got to battle the elements. So dudes are proving that they can't really endure that. Can't take, the humble approach. Can't take the low. So we're gonna see where the pride, leaves certain individuals, man. Dudes got a lot of pride on them. Let's deal with the scriptures on pride. Proverbs 18:12. And it says, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. I don't even think I need to break that down. All right, NLT, haughtiness goes before destruction, humility precedes honor. NIV, before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. The Lord's gonna humble a lot of dudes, man. Right now, they're on their high horse because they're enjoying the spotlight. They're enjoying the praise of men. They loving the following that they have. So of course, when you caught in that moment, you're gonna be very haughty and proud. You're gonna think that you're invincible, damn near. But dudes don't. They really don't consider their end. All right, because the Heavenly Father, he's in control here. Don't ever think that you're bigger than the program. All right, let's go to let's get a couple more. Proverbs 11:2. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. All right, and brothers taking that humble approach, they're being wise. Them brothers are still here and they able to live another day to go out and preach. That's why we're still on the streets, man. Because we're not out there being no carnal niggas, man. And have we been in situations in the past? Of course. There's men that have been cut to the heart and they threatened the camp. You had people mess with our signs and all that. And we had to endure it. But we will not let carnality take us out of the spirit and move with pride. Because only pride brings shame. You will put shame on your whole brand, man. All right. Hey, and even Yahawashi said, whosoever shall be ashamed, you know. Let me see if I can find that. Are you ashamed of the gospel? You ashamed of, operating the way the Lord did? Because you think that the world would view you as a coward? You think it's cowardly? You're ashamed of the cross then. I ain't going out like that. I got my pistol. I got the Draco on me. All right, man. You could be tough all you want, man. Yeah, Mark 8:38, it says, whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. That's it on that. So I'm gonna read a few more. It says, Proverbs 16:18, pride go before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 29:23, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit, right? The Lord was always in favor of humility over a proud spirit, man. He do not like pride. He does not like evil pride. He does not like a proud look. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I just want to go into this, man. Because I really that spirit of carnality is a proud spirit. You putting trust in your flesh. The scriptures say, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man that make a flesh his arm." You see, I'd rather walk in the spirit, man. Spirit of Yahawashi. And also, matter of fact, one more thing before I close out. We understand also that we used to walk in that spirit too before we woke up. Let's go to Second Timothy 2. And this is the reason why the scriptures say, he that is slow to anger is of understanding, you know, because we know what we dealing with when we out there. This is Second Timothy 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 23. Says, "But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient, patient in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, that come against you. If the Most High peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth." Because some actually can come out of that. Them demons can come right off of you. We all had demons on us before we came in, before we woke up. And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. Because remember, you're preaching to the spirits that are in prison, man. Just like Yahawashi had to do. All right? Them strongholds is just barred up in their mind. And you trying to break those bars down to free them up from up out of that way of thinking. But how are you going to do that while also taking a carnal approach? Come on, man. That doesn't mix. The carnality and being in the spirit, those are two opposing things. All right. So, that's pretty much you know, the point. And I want to, make that known in this lesson, man. So now you can clearly see why the Sakari was separate from the camp of Yahawashi, the circle of Yahawashi. They wouldn't have been able to be disciples of Yahawashi, man. Now you had some converts who actually left that life alone and left that way of thinking alone and followed Yahawashi because they were of the elect. But the rest of them niggas, for the most part, they was doing their own thing. They had their own principles. So anyway, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahawashi Yahawashi. Double honors to the elder apostles who rule well of the great millstone, and peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.